looking for somebody to pray for them, pray their troubles away. They done went and got into debt, about broke, about to go to the poorhouse, and then they want everybody to form a prayer line behind around them. They'll smoke 5 packs of cigarettes and got lung cancer now. They ain't got but a piece of lung, and they want everybody to form a prayer line around them and pray them out. I said, no. They're looking for Jesus to work miracles. They want folk to bathe them in some olive oil and all this kind of stuff. Speaking tongues over them to do something. They're looking for a free meal.
Yes. Absolutely right.
I better back out of that shit. Because I done messed up now. Jesus said, you ain't following me because of the signs you saw. You ain't following me because you believe in me. You're following me because you got a free meal and you want some more. When I read that at verse 26 of chapter 6, something jumped out at me. Many times we're fascinated with what we think are the immediate gratifications that we get from Jesus. Some folk come to church looking for some immediate help, and when they don't get it, they're gone. When they don't get it right now, they're gone. You see, there's a bless me right now attitude among us. Bless me right now. Bless me right now. We didn't pray that way, no. Right now, Lord. Right now, Lord. I done told y'all you ought to be glad I ain't the Lord. Because when anybody tells me right now, that's when I dig my feet in the ground. I say, I ain't going to do it right now just because. You ought to be, that's shock material. You need to be jumping up and down. Lord, I thank you that Jackson ain't you. There's a bless me right now attitude among us. We expect Jesus to do things for us, so we won't have to expend much energy. All I need to do is just sit down and name it and claim it, and the Lord is going to bring it to me right now. You better get up off of your rusty so-and-so and go get you a job. Quit begging me for my money all the time. I ain't got that much. Jesus knew what was going on. He proceeded to give them some instruction. Jesus said something to them, and he's saying the same thing to us that's worth remembering and embracing. He said, do not work for food that spoils, but for food that endures to eternal life, which the Son of Man will give you. There's a word in there for us today. Jesus has a word for us. In the coming days, there are going to be lots of people coming at you with get rich quick and get out of debt schemes that promise you full success with no pain and no worry. You can have it right now. You can get rich quick. You ain't got to do nothing but put a little money forth, and this thing is a sure shot thing. It's going to work for you. Some folk are going to spend a lot of money which they really don't have trying to get out of debt or trying to avoid debt. The way to get out of debt is start paying off your debt. The way to avoid debt is don't get into debt. Jesus would have us to know that we should not and we must not spend all our energies chasing after bread that is no real bread. We chase after a lot of stuff that's just a figment of our imagination. Don't spend all your time working for bread that won't last. He gives us the alternative. Jesus says, I am the bread of life. He's not just talking about his message, but he's talking about all that he is in himself. You see, Jesus gives life and he sustains life. He completely satisfies. He's not like the meals that we may eat sometimes. You know, sometimes you eat, and when you get through eating, you ain't satisfied. So you go looking for something else, but Jesus will satisfy you. Not only will he fill you up, but he'll satisfy you. Jesus is necessary to us, is as necessary to us as our food. In fact, he's more necessary. He enables us to meet life's calls and obligations. Let me tell you something, my brothers and my sisters. I've lived long enough to know, I've experienced enough of life to realize that during the process of this thing, you're going to need something other than a full refrigerator and freezer to give you some security. You're going to need to know that you got something other than a few extra dollars in your savings account. Because there are going to come some situations in your life that knowing that you got enough food just ain't going to satisfy. Knowing that you have enough money just ain't going to satisfy. You're going to come up against some situations that you don't have any answers for, but you're going to need somebody who can give you a sense of peace in the midst of your storm. Let's see if I can describe it this way. He's necessary, and he's more necessary. He enables us to meet life's calls and obligations. If I can describe it this way, have you ever been tired and irritable, and at the same time hungry? You know, you're tired, so therefore you're irritable, and really you're irritable because you're hungry. Anybody ever been there? You could hardly stand to be around your own self. But when you got to eat, when you got a chance to eat a little something, you were probably able to set aside some of your gloom and ill humor. You were able to return to your sociable self. Now, why could that be? What was it about a meal? What was it about some food that affected your personality in such a positive way? It was because the strength that was in the food passed into you. The food made you stronger and better. The food which nourished and strengthened your physical body had an effect upon your mental and emotional state. Well, that's the way it is with Jesus. In Jesus, we are fed and sustained. In Jesus, we can restore our spent vigor and replenish our exhausted energies. Yet, a lot of folk won't realize the strength that's available to them, because while they're impressed with certain elements in the standards of Christ, they still won't allow themselves to be fed by the bread of life. What did I just say? What did I just say? A lot of folk look at Jesus and look at him philosophically. He was a good fellow. He had a good philosophy on life. But I just came by to let you know that sometimes you got to eat a little bit of it. An orange can be pretty, round, solid looking, no bruises on it, nothing looking wrong with it, but you just don't know how good it is until you cut it open and start eating it. You got to taste, taste and see that the Lord is good. Many people know, they realize that they ought to be working this out in their lives. They may even start out accepting the ideal of Christ for their lives, but they don't stop to realize that they also need to receive the power from him to live out that ideal.